The voice and the demeanor, very familiar. The outcome, not all that familiar. Although, post Tom Brady, not really all that crazy. 47-17, 38-3, 34-0. Just some of the losses that Bill Belichick experienced in his latter years with the New England Patriots. Monday night, what an ugly display by the North Carolina Tar Heels. And what a contrast. They got a little taste. They got a little sprinkle of the possibility that this was all going to magically work. Right down the field, 7 plays, 83 yards, 4 minutes, 5 seconds. They're up 7-0. The place is going crazy. Michael Jordan's there. LT's there. Roy Williams is there. Randy Moss is there. And then, man, the rest of the game, for the remaining 55, it was a disaster. It was a crap show. I couldn't believe how quickly it turned and how bad it was. And good morning and belated happy birthday. You are now officially right in the middle of middle age.
Yeah, I am. I'm at halfway through the 40s. It's crazy to think that. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was crazy to watch last night. I mean, first off, I guess I didn't expect or didn't know ESPN was going to go all in on the unveiling of Bill Belichick, right? So just the lead up to the game, and yeah, the stars, like you said, Randy Moss on the pregame show, McAfee there, everybody there, basically got the whole gang together there for college game day almost to a degree there. But Michael Jordan, all of that, I mean, awesome. So that got you excited, like, wow, this is some event. This is really cool. The first drive, like you said, get your hopes up. Oh, my gosh, Belichick's figured out college football. Not so much. I mean, like you said, a disaster, I think is the proper word. Really totally outclassed in every way possible, really. I mean, that's what's bad. There wasn't even a look or a moment of the game after that first drive or two where you just went, wait, maybe they could come back. Maybe they can do this. There was nothing there to look at positively to go, oh, they might have a chance to get back in this one. I mean, truly, truly dominated by TCU.
Yeah, it was bad, and it kept getting worse. And really the moment where it went from curiosity to blowout, after it was 7-0, TCU systematically built a 20-7 lead that could have been worse. There was a tip ball interception deep in the North Carolina end that stopped the drive that could have added points, and there was a very lucky bounce with a bad snap on a punt by North Carolina that could have gone sideways and given TCU a short field with enough time to get a touchdown instead of a field goal to end the half. But this was the time after 20 minutes for Bill Belichick to make adjustments or whatever he needed to do to put his foot in the ass of his team. Boom, 75-yard touchdown, untouched, and it's 27-7, and that's it. That's it. And I kept thinking maybe. Max Johnson came in. What a great story. Brad Johnson's son.
Awesome.
Horrible broken leg. The incision from hip to knee that they showed, like, man, you should have put up a warning before you put that on TV, ESPN. But what a great story for him. He came in and gave him a little life, and they scored a touchdown late in the third quarter.
They
and
did.
I'm thinking, I've seen this movie before with a Belichick coach team, but it just never even got close to getting off the ground. It was just that one moment to save a little face, to make 41-7 look a little better, and then TCU scored one more touchdown to make the final score 48-14. But I was stunned. And on the ESPN stuff, here's where it got funny. And look, I know. I don't want to cause problems by criticizing other networks, but some things need to be said because, look, and I love Scott Van Pelt, but he was waving the flag on SportsCenter after the game and making excuses for why they hyped it. It was so one-sided, and it was so slanted, and it was so grossly hero worship. And then it pivoted to, well, TCU's pretty good. Well, TCU was extra motivated. They went through this 2 years ago with Deion Sanders. All the stuff that could have been said before the game was said once TCU's foot was caught in North Carolina's ass.
Yeah.
And that made it even more glaring. They abandoned ship and started, and it wasn't even abandoning ship. They started making excuses for Belichick. It went from he's going to win every game to, well, TCU's pretty good. Well, TCU went through this with Deion Sanders in Colorado 2 years ago. Well, and it's like, come on, man, you could have done that before the game. And all of it contributed to TCU being pissed off. They felt disrespected. They kept the cards close to the vest until right before the game. And, yeah, we're pissed. We're good, too. What about us? We're in this game. We're not the Washington Generals or the Harlem Globetrotters.
No, I hear they had every right to kind of feel disrespected in the whole thing, right? I mean, yeah, nobody talked about them in this matchup. I think everybody thought, I think a lot of fans thought, it's Belichick. He'll have some masterful game plan, like you said. But again, this is where I'm not sure college football is going to work. Right, this is where I think a lot of people that have been around Bill and where we saw Brady and Gronkowski go, I don't know, I can't picture him coaching college football. One, like you talked about adjustments. It's college football. He's not going to be able to be like, hey, let's double this guy, let's do this and let's do that. That doesn't go on really, right? The intricate game planning. You saw some of the replays. There was nothing beautiful there. Again, this is where college football is a little bit of a different game, and you have to highlight superstars or your best players and kind of just formulate around them instead of going, I have this system and I coach it right, and as long as we run this system and do everything I say in detailed way, we'll be just as good. No, that's not a way it's going to work in college football. First off, it's the NFL. The talent level's all very similar, as we know. It's all over the place in college football. You can have one team and you can play them 1 week and go, damn, they got 20 NFL players, and play another team the next week and go, they have no NFL players. So that's where it's a little different too. You got to give your players, I think, some more schematical advantages and play to the players and playmakers a little bit. I think that's the big thing. And, yeah, I was a little just disappointed in the creativity of all of it. It made me feel like I was watching New England preseason, where they were like, we're just going to play these 3 defenses, and we're going to know what we're doing, and we're going to run these 10 plays on offense, and we're going to perfect those, and then we'll go on to the next phase. And it's just like, I don't know if there's enough time for all that right now and what you're doing there at UNC in college football and how that goes. So I'm still very interested to see how this plays out week by week with Belichick there.
It was 34 years to the day since Bill Belichick's debut as an NFL head coach with the Cleveland Browns. They lost 26-14 to the Cowboys September 1, 1991. So I guess it was fitting. There's a parallel there, and maybe his college career will recover like his NFL career did. He needs a Tom Brady, though, and if he finds a Tom Brady's not going to be there 20 years. He's going to be there 20 games maybe, till Texas comes along with a big bag of cash.
Right, exactly.
And says, come play for us. Come play for us before 100,000 people and make a lot more money than what you're making at North Carolina. But look, one of the excuses, well, they got 70 new players. Yeah, they handpicked the players. They went out and found the players. That was part of see, you can't have it both ways, Belichick and Mike Lombardi. You can't be puffing your chest out like Lombardi was doing throughout this process about how great it's going to be, and they're coming to play for the greatest coach in the history of football, and we're going to go find all these great players, and I'm an NFL GM, even though he was only a GM for 1 year. But I'm an NFL GM, and I'm going to find all these players. I mean, the problem is, doesn't matter what your scheme is if your players aren't good enough.
That's true.
And their players just weren't good enough.
No.
And they aren't good enough. And I don't know how quickly they can turn it around, Chris.
No.
They got a game Saturday night. Now, it's Charlotte. They should beat Charlotte. They should beat Richmond. But they get into the meat of the schedule, it's going to be a long year.
Yeah.
Unless they dramatically can improve these guys in a compressed period of time.
Right. Well, yeah, I think this is going to take time. I mean, that's where it's going to take a minute. And, yeah, they got a lot of new players. We know that. But that's the new way of college football, too. So it's not just an excuse for them. This is something we talked about in college football a lot last year. There was no impressive teams, really, for the first 10 weeks of college football because players are on a new team, and it felt like it took a long time for everybody to gel together. So I think that is a little bit of a thing we're going to see in college football because of all the...
Right, but it makes it less of an excuse then. If it's 100%. Common, it's less of an excuse.
100%. Everybody's going through it. So, I don't want to really hear it. I don't. Now, the talent level, like you said, I think it was pretty self-explanatory watching the game. Yeah, there wasn't very many people, if any, that really jumped out on North Carolina where you went, ooh, that guy looks special, or ooh, that unit looks really damn good there. They got some guys there. No, so they got work to do on the roster, let alone they don't have time. Yeah, roster, this is what it is. It's Tom Brady. It's not Tom Brady and Gronkowski and Teddy Bruschi. And they're not NFL players who are rooted in that I have all these other different schemes in my head and I've been taught them already, so we can dive into this part of the playbook or this part of the playbook. No, he's going to still have to keep it basic and do all of that. So Belichick loses that advantage that he usually can bring to the table with the great game planning. And, oh my gosh, they ran this play and that play and they did this in this situation. There's not enough time in college football. These kids aren't deep enough into their football knowledge to catch up in those areas to where Belichick's genius is really going to show. So that's, to me, where it's going to take time here before we get into watching the game going, oh, wow, he doubled this guy and played zone over here and did that. I don't know if we're ever going to see that. That's where I'm just intrigued, interested, whatever, to see if this whole thing with Belichick in North Carolina works. Certainly got a lot of work to do here, and, yeah, the players are a big part of it, like you said, Mike.
He made reference a couple of weeks ago that they're now into the 20 hours per week limit.
Yeah.
And that's the practical hard cap on the amount of access, unless they're going to cheat. And I'm not saying that to be a smartass. I don't know. Maybe some programs find a way around it. I guess in this day and age with cameras everywhere,
it's hard
tracking.
It's hard.
It wouldn't be all that difficult for the currently feckless NCAA if they wanted to try to prove that somebody was spending more time than they should with their guys, working with their guys, coaching their guys during that week. But that's where we are now. And ESPN's made the big investment. 8 to 10 North Carolina games are going to be on ESPN networks this year. Oh, and that Hulu show is going to be very interesting. How are they going to paint that? How do you make that glass look half full from last night? And you know how these docuseries go. They're not documentaries. They're infomercials. They're only going to put the stuff out there that makes North Carolina look good. Lombardi, part of the problem with his bravado is sometimes he's way too candid as he's bragging. And the whole idea, everything we do, it's about recruiting for North Carolina. Yeah, this whole thing is going to be a recruiting pitch. Well, what's going to be in it then? How are you going to recruit? That's the other side of it. Chris, how are you going to get kids to choose to go to North Carolina
if they lose like
get their ass kicked over and over again on national TV?
That's going to be big, right? The look of things and the scoreboard and all that are all going to be big into, the future players that want to be a part of that program. And that's what we're going to see. He can't go in there again like today. He's not going to be able to go in there like the old days and be like, Ty Law, you got to be better. Like, what are you doing? And call him out in front of the team, and like he did with Brady or anybody else, Randy. These are college kids. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to get the same reaction. We're still in the baby step phases here. I think for them figuring out college football, right, and for what they are doing X's and O-wise. That, to me, was a little bit of the most disappointing thing. It's just that felt like, I don't want to say trickeration, but thought maybe we'd see a few little cute game plan things in the game yesterday in case, we're losing control of this game. It's 20-7. Let's do this here. We practice this trick play or that trick play or whatever. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't see something like that to kind of change momentum or keep them in the game or just give us a little spark. That's where I was surprised. It just kept being like, nope, we're going to play cover 3, and no, you got to do your job. And it's like, no, coach, they know they're playing cover 3. They've schemed a play that's going to screw cover 3. I don't care how good your defense runs it. They can't stop it here, right? So there was just too much of that. That's where I was sitting there commenting to my wife all night. I just went, man, I just can't believe how simple it all is from North Carolina.
If things had gone the other way, chances are there would have been repeated and endless cutaways to Bill Belichick on the sideline. As it stands, and as I sit here thinking about it, they really didn't show him a whole heck of a lot. But one moment they cut to him, he had that look on his face, and it's hard to read him because at times he gives you nothing at all, either in what he says or in how he reacts to things. But it was kind of like that guy. And I was never a model airplane guy. A buddy of mine was. But you spend so much time making these these carefully constructed flying machines, and you paint it up right, and you get the engine in there, and everything's fine, and then you go out and fly, and it crashes. I mean, he kind of had that look of a guy that was like, yeah, I kind of had a feeling this thing was going to crash. Like, yeah, I was right about that. Like, he knows enough about football to sense that the shit show was coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like at one point that there was that look on his face like, I was right.
Yeah.
These guys just aren't good enough. And here's the real question, Chris. Were they not able to recruit better players, or did they think these were the right players? Did they think these were the cream of the crop, and that's the best they could get, and we made good decisions, and now, our model airplane crashed into a tree?
No, I don't think they got there yet, right? I think they're too late to the game there, and they're not a big enough program or spot right now to where they got the blue chippers of blue chippers. I think they did good. I think they've made a mark already for next year and classes down the line a little bit. I could tell you that from experience right here in the Northeast when Belichick and Lombardi went around to schools and all that. Kids in the area here have committed for next year and the year after. Now, if they keep playing like they did last night, exactly right. They're going to be like, wait, hold on. Mom, Dad, I know you told me Belichick's amazing, but are we sure we want to go there? Right? So, but I do think they're trying to lay down the framework, the train tracks, whatever, and I think there are some results in that. But, yeah, too late in the game to go, oh, yeah, they got a guy that's going to be a first-round defensive tackle to transfer in, or a first-round left tackle from another program. No, I don't think they have those kind of guys. They just tried to make it work this year, and we'll see what happens here. But between that, the talent, and like I said, like that, and like I said before, what I'm most amazed, and I had these conversations with John Gruden when he flirted with college football a little bit and talking about it, like, is there true genius? Can it really be shown in college football to a degree? It's going to take some time. The Belichick unbelievable game plans are nowhere close to being able to be instituted into that football team yet. So they're going to keep it basic that way, and I'm just excited or whatever to see what adjustments he can make to this football team, because I don't give a damn. Charlotte, Richmond, I haven't checked out what they are, but they're usually kind of competitive, lower-level programs, and the way North Carolina looked last night, I'm not, I mean, damn, I can't say they're going to sit here and dominate anybody with the way it looked last night.
Charlotte got thumped by Appalachian State. That's what my son told me last night while we were looking ahead at their schedule. And North Carolina is favored by 21.5. Now, that was as of last night. That could change. Right. Betting trends could change it. You may have people putting a little scratch on Charlotte. But that game's Saturday night on ESPN Plus, and I'm going to be interested. That's the thing. There's a rubbernecking quality to it, and the ratings, I think, will still be significant, at least for now, because let's see how this goes. Let's see if this turns. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.